What's up? Welcome back to the Metalhead Car Show. In Iron Maiden's career, they've made 17 studio albums, over 170 songs, and played over 2,000 shows. So it brings up the great question that nobody asked of, what is the most and least played song off each album? So today that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to do it album by album, starting with Iron Maiden, ending with Senjutsu, and we're going to be looking at the most and least played song from the album, and how many times they're played. So let's get right into it. Before we actually start, I just want to say that this video is being recorded before the Future Past Tour actually restarts on Sunday. So if any of the numbers seem a little bit off by the time I post this or you watch this in the future, that's why. But anyway, Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden came out in 1980, it was the band's first full-length studio album, and the most played song off Iron Maiden is Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden's been played 2,258 times. It's been played at every single Iron Maiden show without fail, and it's the only song to never be dropped from a set list. So going from that, we go to the least played song off Iron Maiden, and that is Strange World. Strange World hasn't been played since Paul Di'Anno left Iron Maiden. It's likely never going to get played ever again. It's a very groovy psychedelic metal song, lots of lead parts, lots of soloing, but also a pretty mellow song. And it's been played 88 times. Next up we have Iron Maiden's 1981 release, and that is Killers. It's almost a joke in the Iron Maiden community that if Iron Maiden's ever going to change the setlist, the song they're going to be putting into the setlist is Wrathchild. Wrathchild has been played on pretty much every single new album tour in one way or another, whether it be pulled out for a couple shows just here or there, or fixed into the setlist. Wrathchild has always been there. And with that, it's been played 1,224 times. As a complete opposite to that, the song that's been played least off Iron Maiden is the Ides of March. Now, the Ides of March, truthfully, was never meant to be played live. It was always supposed to be an opener to the show to be played over the PA. But as the story goes, when they actually wanted to do this on the Killers tour, the song wasn't quite ready to be played over the PA, so the band just decided to play it. It was a first time, last time sort of situation, and like that, the song was never played ever again, which means Ides of March has been played once. Next up, I'm going to Iron Maiden's 1982 release, Number the Beast. A very familiar album, and I think if I asked the average person what's the most played Number the Beast song, they'd probably say Run to the Hills, because Run to the Hills is Run to the Hills, but it is actually the Number the Beast. The Number of the Beast has only been dropped so many times. There's gonna be a little bit of a spoiler ahead, so go to this time if you don't want to hear it. But the Number of the Beast was not played in 2006 for the Matter of Life and Death tour, and it was also dropped for the current Future Past tour. And those are the only times Number of the Beast has been played live. For those who didn't want to hear the spoiler, welcome back. But the Number of the Beast has been played 1,998 times. And with that, we go to the song that never actually made it all the way through the Number of the Beast tour, or the Beast on the Road tour, and that is Total Eclipse. Now, Bruce Dickinson has always said Total Eclipse is like the most underrated Iron Maiden song, which personally I don't agree. But my opinion aside, Total Eclipse has been played 53 times. Moving forward to Iron Maiden's 1983 Peace of Mind. Now, I think everyone can guess what the most played Peace of Mind song is, and that is The Trooper. Much like Number of the Beast, The Trooper's been played on pretty much every single tour. The only tour I think it's been dropped is bits and pieces of the Seventh Son, Seventh Son tour, the 2010 Final Frontier tour, the Matter of Life and Death tour, and off the top of my head, that's probably it. It was played in bits and pieces through the Somewhere in Time tour. But with that, The Trooper has been played 1,659 times. Now, for the least played song, this one was a bit tricky for me to just go ahead and guess. I knew it came down to either Still Life or To Tame a Land. To Tame a Land was played all the way through the Peace of Mind tour, minus a handful of shows at the end where Iron Maiden wasn't headlining, but Still Life was actually pulled out again in 1988 for the 7th tour and the 7th tour. But even with that, Still Life is the least played Peace of Mind song at 45 plays. 45 plays in 2 tours. It'd be cool to hear live again, but it's not going to happen. Moving forward to the 1984 Power Slave. This is another album where it's probably not that surprising towards what the most played song is going to be, and that is 2 Minutes to Midnight. Played on the bulk of the tours from 1984 to now, it's a crowd favorite, it's a great song in the beginning of the set, and with that, it's been played 1,388 times. But the least played song is a little bit tricky. For a long time, a lot of people thought the least played song of Powerslave was Lost for Words, but it is actually Back in the Village. Now, I would show you live footage of this song, but there is no live footage or live recordings that exist of this song at all. It has been confirmed that this song was indeed played live in some of the really early 1984 Poland shows, but there's so little footage of those shows that actually exist that this song's probably lost forever. And with that, Back in the Village was played twice live. Jumping forward to 1986's Somewhere in Time. As we all know, Somewhere in Time is currently being heavily played on the Future Past Tour, so these numbers will be very different if you see this video in the future, but currently, right now, the most played Somewhere in Time song is Heaven Can Wait. Heaven Can Wait actually has a big lead just due to it was played in every single tour in the 1990s, along with every single tour since it came out in 1986 and the 1980s. And with that, it's been played 817 times live. As for the least played song, we all kind of know what it is. It was pulled out on the opening show of the Somewhere on Tour, and Maiden dropped it because they said it was one tricky song too many for the set, and that is The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner. Again, it was played on the opening set and dropped forever, which means it was played once live. Jumping forward to 1988's Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. This is another one where it's probably not that surprising towards what song is the most played, due to it is Steve Harris's favorite song, and much like Wrathchild, it's been in the bulk of the new album sets, and that is The Evil That Men Do. It's only been dropped so many times since it first came out. Since it came out, it's only been dropped so many times, and because of that, it's been played 866 times live. And with that, we have the least played song, and that is, probably surprising to no one, Infinite Dreams. Truly incredible song, but I'm not 100% sure if it was played every single night in 1988, and it was never pulled out since then. It wasn't even pulled out for the Made in England tour, despite we know it was supposed to be pulled out, but Infinite Dreams has been played 96 times. Now, jumping forward to everyone's favorite album from 1990, and that is No Prayer for the Dying. This one actually kind of surprised me. I figured the most played song was going to be Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter, which, yes, it's a Bruce Dickinson cover, but Maiden played it a lot. It came out on the album. But at 164 plays, and it has been played since 1993, Tail Gunner. The intro song to the album, it was played every single year between 1990 and 1993. It managed to be the most played song off the No Prayer for the Dying album. And with that, we go to one of the songs that didn't even make its way through the No Prayer on the Road tour, and that is Hooks in You. Weird little thing with Hooks in You, but it said that Adrian Smith was likely in the writing process for the song. It's the most Adrian sounding song off the album, which is unfortunate because I personally believe it's the worst song off the album. But due to that's probably not an unpopular opinion, it didn't make its way all the way through the No Prayer on the Road tour, and it has been pulled out since. And with that, it's only been played 62 times. Next up, Fear of the Dark. Surprising to no one, Fear of the Dark is the most played 1990s Iron Maiden song, and it's been played 1,185 times, which frankly is actually really surprising. I'm shocked that it beat both Heaven Can Wait and Evil That Men Do out. I know it's been played in pretty much every single tour. The only tour it's been dropped on was the 2005 Eddie Rips Up the World tour, where they just focused on the first 4 albums that Iron Maiden put out. But it's pretty surprising to me nonetheless. The least played song, on the other hand, is Wasting Love. Wasting Love was a single off the Fear of the Dark album, and it's only been played 109 times. Jumping into the Blaze Bayley albums, 1995, The X Factor. Now, despite the X Factor tour was actually a pretty long tour, it's probably one of the longest in Maiden's career, the most played song off the X Factor album is Sign of the Cross. And with that, it's also the most played Blaze Bayley era Iron Maiden song at 435 plays. The least played song off the X Factor, which I'm kind of disappointed by because I really like this song, but it's not all about me, and that is The Edge of Darkness. Some don't like the song, some find it boring, but I think it's actually a lot of cool parts in the song, and I would love to hear the song be pulled out live, especially if Iron Maiden actually did a Senjutsu tour. But The Edge of Darkness has been played only 109 times. Moving on to 1998's Virtual 11. Surprising to no one, the most played song off Virtual 11 is The Klansman. It's been one of the only Virtual Eleven songs to be played after the Virtual Eleven tour ended. Future was played for a little bit, but it's been gone since 1999. And the Klansman has been played 395 times. Now, the least played song off Virtual Eleven is Don't Look Through the Eyes of a Stranger. Not everyone's favorite song, but much like Edge of Darkness, there's a lot of cool parts in it. It's actually a really fun song to me. I get why people might not like it, but I assume Maiden also didn't like it that much because it's only been played 4 times. It's amazing there's actually audio of this song out there. Jumping forward to 2000, we have the Brave New World album. So off Brave New World, the 2 songs Iron Maiden continues to go to is Blood Brothers and The Wicker Man. So based on whichever song's being played, they tend to play leapfrog with each other towards who's in the lead, but right now, at this moment, it's Blood Brothers at 358 plays. But the least played song off Brave New World, which again, few of us might already know this, and a few of you have actually said you've seen it live, which I am so jealous of you, but that is Out of the Silent Planet. Out of the Silent Planet has only been pulled out 4 times. It was only used as a closing song whenever they had time to pull out a couple extra songs. So it was truly a special song to hear then, and I hope to hear it live at some point in time, but I'm not gonna hold my breath, unfortunately. Moving to 2003 with Dance of Death. Now, Iron Maiden has pulled out a handful of Dance of Death songs since Dance of Death came out, but the one that's got the most amount of plays, primarily because of the Final Frontier tour, is Dance of Death, played 181 times. But after that, it actually gets kind of interesting. The only songs from Dance of Death that have been pulled out since the Dance of Death tour is Passchendaele, Dance of Death, Wildest Dreams, No More Lies, which just leaves Rainmaker and Journeyman. Now, when Iron Maiden was playing in New York City in 2004, a fan actually whipped a beer at the soundboard right before the encore started. Frying the soundboard, they actually ended up canceling the rest of the show. And because they actually started the encore off of Journeyman, there was one show in which they did not play Journeyman, which actually makes Journeyman the least played song off Dance of Death, being played 47 times, and that's only because of just one drunk asshole in the crowd. Now, here on out, the albums get a little bit weird because there's a lot of songs that haven't been pulled out since these albums finished their tours. So for the most part, we're done with the individual songs and we kind of have a lot of the albums to talk about now. So, jumping to 2006 with A Matter of Life and Death. Maiden has pulled out a handful of Matter of Life and Death songs since the album came out, but the one that's got the most amount of play is For the Greater Good of God, being played 142 times, which in the grand scheme of things hasn't been played that many times, but it's the most played song from A Matter of Life and Death. Now, in 2006, Iron Maiden was playing A Matter of Life and Death in its entirety. Going to 2007, they chose to drop 5 Matter of Life and Death songs for 5 Number of the Beast songs, which actually turned into 4 Number of the Beast songs, but that's aside the point. So the songs that were dropped and left in 2006 were The Pilgrim, The Longest Day, Lord of Light, Out of the Shadows, and my personal favorite song ever, The Legacy. And those 5 songs all tie at 44 plays each. Jumping forward to The Final Frontier. Now, in 2011, the Final Frontier tour setlist was pretty much the same. There's little organizational changes, but the songs were made the same the whole time. But the one song that got the edge because it was played in 2010 was El Dorado, and with that, El Dorado's been played 98 times. Now, when Iron Maiden was in Brazil in 2011, there's one show where the barrier broke the moment they started playing, and back then they're opening with The Final Frontier. So as they're playing The Final Frontier, the barrier breaks, Bruce stops singing, and to get the crowd to kind of just chill out a little bit. So Maiden did actually play The Final Frontier in its entirety, or the song start to finish, better yet, but didn't play anything else from the album for this one show. So because of that one show and that one mistake, The Final Frontier has actually been played one more time than all the other songs, which means The Talisman, Coming Home, and When the Wild Winds Blow all tie at 62 plays. Jumping forward to the 2015 Book of Souls. Now, the Book of Souls had a pretty consistent set list through the entirety of 2016. They did alter it a little bit in 2017. I'm actually going to hold my list for this one, but what we end up having is The Book of Souls, The Red and the Black, If Eternity Should Fail, Speed of Light, and Death or Glory all being tied at 117 plays. And since the 2016 leg was actually a lot longer than the 2017 leg, Tears of a Clown actually got more plays than The Great Unknown, which The Great Unknown was pulled out in 2017. So The Great Unknown is actually the least played song off the Book of Souls tour at 45 plays. And now we come to the end with the 2021 Senjutsu album. So the most played song off Senjutsu is The Writing on the Wall. The Writing on the Wall is the only song that was played both 2022 and 2023, meaning right now as we're doing this video, The Writing on the Wall has been played 94 times. And since the 2022 leg was actually a lot longer than the 2023 leg, the songs that have been played the least off Senjutsu is Hell on Earth, The Time Machine, Days of Future Past, and Death of the Celts. And those 4 songs tie at 37 plays. And there you have it. That is the most and least played song off every single Iron Maiden album. Well, I want to know, what do you think? Is there songs that surprised you towards how much or how little they're played live? And do you think it's about goddamn time Iron Maiden brings back Out of the Silent Planet? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and enjoy the view scene. I tend to post 3 times a week, and I'll see you later.